To the second disability panel, back-to-back disability panels. Very exciting. Several of the same people, and I don't know if it's the same. Are you guys the same audience? How many of you were at the previous disability panel? So most of you, cool. So hopefully we're going to try and be word for word the exact same as before. So just tell me if I say something different, like if I get off script of the last one. Maybe we could just have, like we have like the teleprompter, maybe I could just read.
Just put the captions.
Yeah, if I could just read the captions from the last one, that would be great.
I'm going to start emailing my lawyers right now, if that's okay.
So anyway, I'm Josh, I'm going to be your moderator, and I would like to begin by having everyone introduce themselves. You can share your name. Due to HIPAA regulations, I cannot request that you disclose your disability, but if you feel so inclined, you are certainly welcome to do so. Molly?
Hello, I am Molly Burke, and I am blind, and I have my guide dog, Mr. Horseman Gallop, under the table.
My name is Alexandria. You can call me Allie if you would like. I have chronic Lyme disease and endometriosis, and I'm happy that you all are here.
My name is Tommy Edison. I'm blind since birth, and I don't know, that's it. It's lovely to meet you all. Thanks for coming.
Is this on? Good?
No.
I'm very quiet.
Good. Is this my
Zach, everybody. He's going to be here a week. To be try the waitress. You never know.
Sound guy could. Is this mic on your board?
Oh, getting feisty.
Should it be working?
Yeah.
Wait for it.
We're getting there.
No?
It's only up from here.
Yeah, cool. I guess Tommy can help. Maybe, yeah, you can share your mic.
We decided that Zach would be too funny, so we've censored him today.
Oh, now.
No?
Bunch of ageless sound people.
Tommy, you want to tell us one of your backstage jokes?
Listen. You know why so many tweens and teenagers like odd numbers so much? Because they can't even.
Better this time.
Tommy
You
Edison.
still need a little more like can't even. Like,
Listen.
A little more valid.
Tommy Edison.
Channel your inner valid girl next time.
Should I do more?
Zach, can you talk?
He's talking.
Yeah, I mean, I know, sorry, that was poor wording. I know you can talk, but still no sound.
You start without me. I'm
All right. Okay, yeah, so we'll just start talking, and Zach, when you need to speak, maybe you can share a mic with Tommy or something like that. Or, yeah, does that work? What do you guys think? Or Alexandria, should you switch with Tommy?
Yeah.
Why don't you switch, and that way you can handle the
Switch?
mic.
All right.
To Zach. Yeah, this is a really good thing. Is this what happened in the last panel? Or are we off track?
Already off script.
Oh, no.
It would be funny if you had me on the panel and then I could make the Jeff jokes and I can't hear that. Mike's not turned on.
That would have been an amazing joke, Ricky. Sorry, you're not also on this panel.
So there's two apples cooking in an oven. One of them turns together and says, "Boy, it's hot in here." How the other one goes, "Well, what do you know? Talking apple." Come on. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I'm going to just start talking and introduce some topics of discussion. Thank you for bearing with us and not leaving during our technical difficulties. So I started doing vlogs on YouTube in 2010, and I came to the first VidCon that year, and I spoke. Like that year, I just, this is how, were any of you at the first VidCon? Anyone? Any audience here? So nobody. So let me tell you about the first VidCon. The first VidCon, I emailed Hank Green, and I was like, hey, I am a YouTuber. I would like to speak at your conference. And he was like, sure. Like, that's how the first VidCon worked. I didn't even know what subscribers were or how many I had. Like, literally at VidCon, people were like, how many subs do you have? And I was like, I don't know what that word is. But I had this really interesting conversation with Hank on the phone leading up to that VidCon, where he said, talking to about my vlogs, he said, you know, YouTube is a really interesting space for you because unlike normal life when people see that you have one leg, assuming that they're sighted, of course, on YouTube, you can choose whether or not to disclose that. And if you're doing a vlog, like from the chest up, as most vlogs are, like, people don't know unless you tell them. Which I thought was a really, really interesting insight, and leads me into what I would like to start by asking you guys. Because then on YouTube, you can, for the most part, like, choose what you want to disclose about yourself, whether or not your disability is strictly visible or not. Why did we decide, or why did you decide that you wanted to talk about your disability on YouTube? Like, why make that part of yourselves public in video form?
Anyone want to start? Okay, I'll just go for it. So I kind of touched on this a little in the last panel, and that is, you know, I really feel that as a disabled person, I can't be angry at society's ignorance if I'm not willing to help educate society. And that's been how I felt my entire life. I started public speaking about my condition when I was 5 years old, and so sharing it just comes natural to me, and self-advocacy has been a huge part of finding my confidence and owning disability. And so I couldn't imagine not being a person who wants to educate and who wants to share an important part of my life.
Cool.
Sure. Well, you know, it's funny. To be honest, I did not start the channel. So the first thing we did on YouTube was the Blind Film Critic channel. And that wasn't necessarily to talk about my disability at all. It was simply to show people how a movie worked for somebody like myself, who was blind since birth. Because I thought it was a perspective that some people had never heard before. So I thought that would be kind of interesting. And listen, we didn't know if anybody would watch the thing. You know, we just sort of put it up for a goof. And we got very lucky. And, you know, from that, we started the other channel too, where I do talk about myself. And I answer questions from viewers of all sorts of questions. People are curious about many different things. And they're curious about things like, I get questions on YouTube in the comments and stuff that my friends, my lifelong friends, have never asked me before, right? So there's some place of comfort to be able to just sit at a keyboard or at your phone and ask a question that you're curious about. So it's been giant, it's been so much fun, and I've learned so much from it as well. So it's really.
And I decided to show off my disability because, and let me be honest here, I'm not really all that talented. So I thought I could milk the disability angle. And it's worked so far. It's really just so that I could not hone any other skills and just rest on my laurels. So.
Love the honesty.
So I started writing at first to chronicle my disability, and I continued writing until I couldn't physically write anymore. Now I vlog to continue doing it because one of the symptoms for me of my disability was not being able to remember what was going on. Memory loss for me has been a big issue and a big fear of mine, especially in the thick of what was going on. I can't remember a lot of the worst parts of my years of what happened. So I take as many videos and photos of what was going on in case I can't remember any more of what's happening. There's sometimes when I don't have the energy anymore to take videos every day. So what I do the most part is I take a photo every day of what's happening in my life, so that even if I don't remember what's happening, I can look back and hopefully try to jog my memory of what's going on. So memory keeping is usually what's going on, and the reason why I do it. There's also a primary inspiration is to build confidence, because I'm going into teaching, and for me videos are the best way to help build confidence for an audience as well.
I want to circle back to something Tommy said, because that was actually something I've been asking myself leading up to this panel, which is, do you all find that people respond differently to your disability online versus in real life? Like, is there a different response in terms of how people comment or even just like, or versus how people respond like when they meet you or your friends or whomever? And if there is a difference, what do you think the difference is?
I definitely experience a big difference in how people approach me online versus how people approach me in person. I lost my vision, the majority of my vision, in 2008, and since 2008, I have never once had a person to my face say that they think I'm faking it. But online, I mean, I hear it every day that I'm faking it. And it's because I don't look like the stereotype of what blindness is supposed to be. And so I always try to tell my audience, I'm sitting in a chair and I'm looking straight forward where a camera is. Okay, maybe you're not seeing all of like the moments where I have like these little total blind girl moments that I chronicle on Twitter with #blindgirlproblems. And just nobody who spends any period of time with me in person would ever question it, because constantly they see me walking into something or awkward. Like yesterday I was at a party and somebody goes to hug me goodbye and I was like, it was really nice meeting you. And they have like their arms out to hug me and I was just like waving at them, and my manager was like, Molly, they're going for a hug. And I was like, oh, sorry about that. And or people being like, Molly, they're trying to shake your hand, and they like had their hand out for 3 minutes, and I'm like, oh, sorry about that one. So nobody in person ever questions it, but online, because I don't look the way people want disability to look, I get accused of faking it all the time. So I'd say that's the biggest difference in terms of how I get approached. Never in person, always online.
That's really interesting. I'd like to, maybe this will make you feel better. The problem of like going for a handshake and the other person's going for a hug, that happens to sighted people as well. It's very awkward.
It probably just doesn't linger quite as long.
Yeah, that's possible.
You catch on sooner.
But like, yeah, I mean, that happens to me all the time at VidCon. Like when I see my old friends, I'm like, is this a handshake person or a fist pump person or a hug person? I don't know. So yeah, that's a common human experience for sure. Anyone else want to speak to that? The difference in how people treat you online versus real life?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I said before, people will ask me questions that no one in my regular life has ever asked me. And I think that's just because the way that we do the videos, and that, the things that I talk about, give people, people are comfortable, and they're like, like, sure, I can ask him how he knows when to stop wiping in the bathroom, why not? You know what I mean? But that was a very popular question for a very long time, and then we did a video addressing it and stuff, and that's that. So yeah, in person it's a little bit different, and listen, there are people that think I'm faking it too. I saw him open his eyes at 2:32, he blinked, this type of thing. But, you have to understand too, there is a large group of people that believe Stevie Wonder is faking it. I know, but it's true. There's so, listen, we'll get Alex Jones or somebody to get to the bottom of all these and see if we're faking it.
I would like to say that I am faking it. So I'm glad to be up here, but sorry. No, I think for me, the response, it's made the real life easier, because when people come up to me now, they at least have some context of how I feel about my disability, and the thing that I like to do most is open up the conversation. I'm never really of the mindset where if you say the wrong thing, I'm going to shut you down or be offended. I like the fact that people feel open enough to ask the questions now. So it's really been a blessing for me. And I don't get too many haters, but the ones that I do, I generally agree with them. So I just try to encourage that.
I have the opposite experience of Molly, in the sense that online I feel like I'm very candid about my experiences with chronic pain, but in person, because of the fact that I have invisible disabilities, I would say that most people do not code me as being disabled, and so they often read me as someone that's able-bodied, and so when I do explain the fact that I have disabilities, they often kind of rear back and are like, wait, what are you talking about? And I would say that for the most part, my experiences over the past almost 10 years with doctors have often been invalidating as far as trying to seek treatment with that. And so going online has often been one of finding solace and reassurance with that.
And I think that's an interesting point too, that it's like that the internet is a place where you're more open with that.
Correct.
And because I find, for me, most of my video content on the internet is related to being an amputee. Like most of it is something that comes from that. And so when, if you look at like my YouTube channel and there's like hundreds of videos about being an amputee, I think that you might surmise or you might assume that being an amputee is like the most significant part of my life. Like it must be, and you would not be wrong to think, I think it is a reasonable conclusion to make, right? If all the content I'm giving you is about being an amputee, you might say, wow, it seems like Josh probably thinks about being an amputee like all day long. That must be like his only thought process. And like, even if you didn't necessarily see that online, like if you just saw me in real life and you're like, that guy has one leg, I bet he thinks about it. He's probably thinking about it right now. He's probably like just thinking how sad he is about his life. So I think that's interesting because I find, I think for me, what I'm saying is that my identity is much more, I would say that my disability is a bigger part of my internet identity than it is my real life identity, like with my friends or just interacting with people. And I wonder for you all, is that also the case? Like if you are doing a lot of content related to your disability, do you feel like that's more like your identity is more tied to that online as opposed to what it would be if we were just having coffee?
So for me, I'm a motivational speaker, and when I started my channel, motivational speaking was my full-time job, and I intended on YouTube just being like a fun project on the side, a hobby. And my whole thing is, as a speaker, I'm booked to speak about a select group of topics, often being disability, accessibility, mental illness, and bullying. And those are all things I've experienced and lived with, are big parts of my life and my journey. But I'm a whole lot more than that. I'm like a 23-year-old who is single and ready to mingle, who is obsessed with yoga and shopping and makeup, who drinks too much tea and loves lush bubble baths. And I wanted to share and express that part of my life with people, because at speeches, I was only ever able to share such specific parts. And I want to show, my audiences, after they saw me speak, if they chose to follow me on social media, to show them the rest of me, that I am not just a disability, I'm not just a girl who was bullied, I'm not just my mental illness, I'm a, quote, regular, normal, average 23-year-old woman. And so I'm kind of the opposite. My goal was actually to be less disabled online, was to share the other parts of my life and my personality. And I think at a certain point I strayed from that because there was so many questions about the disability aspect. And now I'm kind of venturing back to that route of doing just more makeup tutorials and regular, everyday, every channel video, but obviously it just has a slightly different slant on it because I am disabled. So, yeah.
That's really interesting.
Well, for me, when I worked in radio, for a long time working in the business, my disability was hidden. I never talked about it, right? Because I figured who had to know you just listening to me. And then there was a story done about our show and about the school visits that we used to do. So I was outed. And that was cool, but the funny thing about it is you can't tell the entire audience on the radio the same thing at the same time because they're not all listening, right? So on YouTube, it's really fun because now, I'm much more of a blind person than I ever was on the radio, and it's pretty cool. As I said, I've learned a lot from this experience too. It's not just the audience that's learning; it's me too. I learn every day from the things that people say in comments and stuff, and to the things that we talk about in videos and the questions that people ask and stuff. So I'm learning too. So it's been a great experience.
I tend to think like I had never thought of myself as an advocate until I started putting stuff online, and I always thought of myself as like a goofball, kind of an idiot. And then I realized that my work was inspiring people and making people laugh, and I was like, what's a not like sort of patronizing way that I can talk about this stuff and really appreciate my audience, and so I've been able to like lean into it but still be honest with people about how flawed and awful I can be, which is really liberating. Because once you fall into the idea of being an inspiration, that's hard to make really inappropriate jokes. And I've definitely, I'm an inspiration who tells dick jokes. So, you gotta find that balance.
Good. So, please somebody tweet that.
Yeah, you should definitely change your bio now.
Yeah, do it.
That's my Tinder profile.
And then when the girls see it.
Yeah, I want to change my Twitter bio now, so. Yeah, that's great. I have nothing to add to that.
It's tough to top that. So here's and Molly, you kind of talked about sort of if we were to talk about like a percentage of Molly's content that is related to being blind versus that is about other interests and how that sort of fluctuated, that ratio has changed over time. Here's a thought experiment that I'm curious for you guys about. If you like woke up tomorrow and didn't have a disability, put in our thought experiment, it's not like that magical. You're just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, it's I don't have a disability. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Just goes away. That's the parameters of our thought experiment. So you wake up, you don't have a disability anymore. My question is, would you still make videos? What would the videos be about? And do you think your audience would change? Like, would your audience become a different group of people, or would they just, like, it would be the same kind of people? Molly doesn't always, I feel Molly has all this pressure to answer the first question.
No, I'm totally fine to. I just feel like I keep being the one who's like, me! So I don't want to, jump in every time, but I can go. Okay, got it. Great question. I love it. I'm a performer. It's what I love to do. I took 10 years of acting growing up, which is why I'm able to fake disabled so well. And so really for me, like I feel like being in the entertainment industry in some form or another is always what I wanted to do before I even knew that I was going to go blind one day. And so for me, definitely I think I would still be making YouTube videos for sure. And without a doubt, beauty, fashion, lifestyle. Because that's what I'm making as a blind girl, which is unexpected because everybody is always like, how do you do your makeup if you can't see? Or rather, who does your makeup for you if you can't see? Spoiler, I do it. Why?
Yeah, I don't believe it at all.
Watch my videos. No, so I definitely would be making beauty, fashion, lifestyle videos because I'm just a girly girl, it's who I am, and I think I have a strong following that is that community, and I also have probably a bit of a stronger following that is disabled, so I think I would definitely have a different audience in part and the same audience in another part.
That is, there's some people who watch you strictly because they like your makeup, but there's some people who are like watching a person with a disability do makeup, and they would be less interested if you were a sighted person.
So I think some people only want disability content from me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I think sometimes I post makeup.
I'm sick of your makeup.
Okay, that's why you don't watch my channel then. Great. just put it on mute and do your dishes. That's what I tell my friends. I'm like, don't skip the ads, put it on mute, do your dishes. No, I think some people only want disability content from me and don't like when I post a makeup tutorial or don't like when I do a regular challenge video. But there are other people who comment and they're like, girl, I'm sighted and I learned something from you in this makeup tutorial. And like, I think that's really cool. When, you know, because I know sometimes as amazing as the beauty gurus are, like sometimes it is like, wow, you are a professional and that's really hard for me to do as a regular human being. And so, I mean, not that they aren't regular human beings, but they are pretty fabulous ladies and men. And so for them, I'm almost like a more obtainable beauty technique because mine are like really basic. So yeah, I think that's really cool when I see sighted people using my blind girl makeup techniques and stuff. That's cool.
That's cool.
I would say that if I woke up tomorrow and I didn't have disabilities anymore, I would be spending less money on my prescriptions, which would be fantastic. And my insurance would not be as frustrated with me, so that would be fantastic. I would still be making videos, which would be nice. I don't know that my content would change, especially because of all of the healthcare concerns right now. I think that that would still be a concern for me just because of the amount of people that I know that is still a concern for them. And I think that I don't know that my audience would necessarily change because I think that the intersections that I have with feminism and identity and disability, I think that that would still be a concern for me. And I don't know that I could necessarily take that out of my identity anymore, even if disability was not an individual concern of mine anymore. It's something that is important to the people that I know, therefore that would still be a concern of mine, even if it was just for me as an ally then.
Yeah, for me, if I woke up tomorrow morning with no disability, yeah, I'd probably still make videos, sure. I mean, because I started out reviewing movies, right? It's something that I really like and enjoy. So I do that. I probably do music stuff as well, because you know that's the other thing that I enjoy a lot. So yeah, I'm sure I'd still be doing it, and I think the audience would like it. I mean, you know, they like me. They don't necessarily. It's not just the disability they like. I think they like me too. I think, you know, I'm a goofus, right? But so, you know, we have a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughs in the videos that I do. So, you know, I think the audience would still like that. And I think it'd still work.
If I woke up tomorrow and I didn't have a disability, I'd be like, my career is ruined. I would probably still keep the chair because it's comfortable, and I'd still keep the parking placard because I like the nice parking spaces. Not much of my life would change. But to be honest, it's like an impossible question to answer because so much of what I've done in my life that's disability related is still like it's always going to be a part of me. And I have no idea the person I would be if I wasn't disabled. So I can't say. I would probably still be making videos on like MySpace and Friendster and just miss YouTube altogether.
There was one thing you said that I think was so interesting because I talked on my channel once about how I wouldn't change it. Like I don't want to cure, I don't need to be fixed in any way. I'm happy being blind. And somebody commented and they were like, well, of course she's happy being blind. She makes her money being blind. And I commented back and I was like, girl, trust me, if I got my sight back, I would find a way to capitalize on that. Like, that's a story. Goes blind, gets sight back. I can figure out how to make money doing that too.
It sounds like a really good clickbait article.
Next video.
So, by the way, we'll do like audience questions too. So, like, if someone says starts percolating in your mind and you have follow-up, or you want to ask something totally unrelated, I'm giving you the heads up now so you can start forming your questions. Here's a question that based on my disability, I can't really speak to this, but for a lot of you, I think this would be something I'd be interested in hearing about, which is accessibility. And of course, YouTube is probably the platform that we most have in common, but I'm curious on your comments about accessibility on any video platform, but YouTube specifically, and also like today I was at the YouTube like lounge, and there's a YouTube employee there who was like in charge of accessibility improvements on YouTube, who was going to come to this panel and the earlier panel, so she might be here too. So know that your comments about accessibility also are falling on ears perhaps that can fix things if you believe that there are issues related to that.
I was really, really fortunate to be able to keynote at the YouTube Space LA Accessibility Summit, and one of the things that I mainly touched on was that I think it would be really great if there was an option for audio description. There's nothing more frustrating for me as a blind viewer when I click on a video from my favorite creator and I'm super excited to watch it, and it's like all music and images, and I'm like, so I think that would be really cool if just like there's an option to turn on and off captions, there's an option to turn on and off an audio description track that the creator could choose to make for their video. I also think it would be really fascinating, and this is another thing I mentioned there, for YouTube to include in their analytics when viewers are turning on caption options. Because I think that for creators to tangibly see how many of their viewers are using the accessibility option of captioning would encourage potentially more people to start captioning, because they could realize the audience that is out there. So I think that would be a really cool thing in the analytics side.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for me, captions are a non-negotiable component. I think that because of the fact that YouTube has recently made captions, the auto captions especially, so much better, for me, I use them just because, especially when they use music as an undertrack, sometimes it's just harder to be able to hear what's going on. And because adjusting the auto captions is easier now, it's crucial. And so being able to use those for me is a non-negotiable. So whether it's going in and typing them in yourself or using websites like Rev to be able to do that, it's really hard for me to be able to watch videos that just have the auto captions. So when I'm promoting videos, it's hard ethically for me to be able to do it when it's either absolutely no captions or just auto captions on there. I want to make sure that it's accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, for me, they've made such giant improvements with the app itself on the phone. It's incredible. You know, when we first started doing YouTube, I couldn't really, you know, I could watch videos and stuff, but I couldn't, you know, pause them or stop them or, you know, all that kind of stuff, or look at the comments, and they fixed all that so nicely. And so you know what, I just figured I'd big them up for that, because I mean, it's been so different. Like, I don't like using YouTube on the laptop anymore. I just much rather look at it on the phone. It's so much easier and faster, and it's the stuff that they've done is just incredible. So I just say thank you for that part. It's been awesome.
Zach, any comments?
Well, full disclosure, I just realized 2 weeks ago that I am a huge ableist douchebag, because my videos are not captioned, and it's not even wasn't an intentional thing. It's just that I don't, like, as far as typing, I don't type, and I was unaware of all of the options to caption your videos. So that's something that I desperately need to go back and do, because I was talking to someone who had hearing loss, and they're like, I want to enjoy your videos, you jerk. And it was just a complete missed opportunity for me, and I am sorry if you have hearing loss and you've been trying to enjoy my videos, because the auto captions, that's not what I say. That's not even close. But I have a better command of the English language than auto captions would have you believe. And I would just like to apologize to the deaf community, because it's been a huge oversight on our part to not have that as part of my content.
So I'd love to now move into a time in our final minutes together where you guys can ask any questions if you're curious about of the panelists. Does anyone know where the microphone is, or if there is a microphone? Anyone seen it, or where it was in the last session? Anyone see a microphone?
Where's the tech guy?
No? Do you know where the microphone is? Oh, you have it. Oh, great. We have a runner. So cool. So yeah, just if you want to raise your hand and be a first questioner.
Hi, my name is Luke. I'm from Fort Lauderdale. I wanted to ask about not just the disability, but the caregiver, and particularly loved ones who are involved with you. Because the reason that I'm asking is because at some point, almost with every single loved one, I've had to have like a discussion on the fact that I am trying as hard as I can. And I am doing, what I can. And at some point they kind of get frustrated with your disability. They just, it's just beyond them, and they feel helpless, you feel helpless. And so I was wondering if any of you had experienced that, and if you could address that in some kind of a way.
I can speak to that a little bit. I mean, specifically with romantic relationships, I've learned that did my mic just go?
You're back.
Whether you have a disability or not, there are responsibilities that you have to your partner and discussions that you owe them. I didn't realize until I started dating that even though I viewed myself as a pretty independent person that was on top of his disability, there are still moments when I find myself in a bubble and not doing things that I am capable of doing. I think that there are two sides to that, because sometimes there are expectations from people that don't know the ins and outs of my disability, that I can do more than I can do, and sometimes there's expectations that I can do less. And I think the thing is that we all need to have those discussions and hold ourselves accountable for all that we can do. And it's like, it was a real struggle for me to realize that there were things that I was just complacent about, because so many people in my life are just so used to doing things for me that I never considered that I could actually do them. So it goes both ways, I think.
I can't speak for every person with a disability, obviously, but I can speak for myself, and I know that in my life, I've met people who make me feel disabled, and I've met people who make me feel like I'm not. And I try my best to surround myself with the people who don't make me feel disabled, with the people who don't make me feel that my lack of sight is a burden or in some ways work for them. And that's empowering to be surrounded by those people. I'm very fortunate that the people I can't choose to just get rid of are like that. And the people that aren't like that are people that aren't tied to me with blood.
So I got to a point a few years ago where I needed someone at all times to do even the most basic things care-wise. And I felt at that time that my caregiver was negatively impacting my health and didn't understand my care. And I didn't know how to safely tell them that they were not positively affecting my care. So I can sympathize with kind of what you're experiencing here. I don't know how to give good advice to you other than just like I kind of know what you're going through. The best thing that I could say is that you should put yourself first, and that it's okay to tell someone that you can put yourself first, and that they should not be negatively harming your health in that space. Somebody shouldn't be bringing you down, and you shouldn't be like afraid to be around someone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I've lived alone for a long time. I mean, I bought a house, I'm a homeowner. So there were things that listen, the thing that prevented me from buying a home was, things are going to break, I'm going to have to get the grass, get the snow shoveled, all these types of things. But really, there's, you just have to have people in your community, like in your neighborhood, or just your friends, that will help you out with things. If I need to go to the supermarket, I just call one of my friends and be like, hey, next time you go shopping, let me know. So I've always just sort of done it myself, and it's worked out pretty well.
Probably have time for one or two more questions we can get in before the end. Oh, well, let's go over to this side, to this, right here.
I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Hi, my name's Eric from Downey, California, and my question is kind of off of Tommy's statement where you mentioned some people ask you questions, on YouTube that even your friends never ask. So my question is, what are some of the dumbest questions you guys have been asked about your disabilities?
Some of them I cannot repeat. There is an argument on my top 5 blind girl must-haves. It must be like a 300 comment thread of how I know when I have my period. So my answer is, when I get a sponsor from Tampax, I will tell you. Clue, the app, they sponsor a lot of peeps, hit me up.
Boy, I'm trying to think. Like I said, see, I don't necessarily think they're dumb questions. I think that they're just interesting questions, like the one I talked about earlier about how do I know when to stop wiping in the bathroom. But it's something that people are curious about, just the same way with Molly, right? So that's interesting. People want to, they ask about sight all the time. And, I wish you could see, if I would give you my sight if I could, So, I don't know. I don't really think there's any strange questions. They're just, people are curious about all sorts of things, and I love the curiosity, because I'm a curious person too.
I'm of the mindset that questions aren't dumb, assumptions are dumb. I'm willing to answer any question, but don't assume anything. If you don't know the answer to something, just don't tell it. Like YouTube comment sections, I don't know where they get their. They're so sure that they can sum me up, or like, his disability is muscular dystrophy. And it's like, how can you tell that from a YouTube video? And that's not true.
Yeah, well, listen, I shake all the time. I have sort of wicked, and I've been diagnosed with Parkinson's 8 million times. And I'm so thankful that there are these free professionals that are able to give me this advice. So I appreciate all that. Think of all the money I saved going to doctors.
In my experience, it's just been questions that I think people don't actually want to know the answer to. Like, I've gotten, how do disabled people have sex? And then when I want to tell them, they're like, oh, wait, I don't actually want to know. And it's like, well, you asked me. And then when I tell you, they didn't actually want to know. And it's such a blanket statement because people have sex in so many different ways. There's so many disabilities. And then when I start to be like, well, I can make a video for you. I can bring people on. We can have a discussion about it. And they're like, well, I didn't actually want to know. So.
Yeah, I would disagree with Tommy in that I think there are dumb questions. That's been my experience. I'll just give a couple examples. One time I was talking to this girl about my artificial leg. Like, I used to wear an artificial leg, I don't anymore. She was just asking like how it works and what it's made out of and stuff. It's true. True story. So we're talking about it, and she's like, looks at the leg, and she's like, is the foot fake too?
I didn't know you hung out with supermodels, George.
Yeah. So that happened. Yeah.
So, is it, or?
Yeah, like, oh man, I could go on for a long time actually. I have a lot of stupid questions. But I want to see if we can fit in like one more good question from you all. The person who looks very urgent right there on the third row, desperately needing to ask this question.
What's your name?
My name's Marlena. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. So, actually, to start off, I actually work at a camp for persons with disabilities. So I just want to say thank you for being up here, and you're very inspirational to a lot of people. I have a lot of important people in my life who do have disabilities.
Thank you for your work.
Thank you. Also, my question is what Molly brought up about the ignorance. I know that working at this camp, I've met a lot of people who say, this is the only place I don't feel judged, and people who accept me for who I am and don't look at me for my disability. And I just want to ask, how do you guys face that ignorance, and how do you actually handle it, I guess?
And I'm going to add to that you have to answer the question in like 15 seconds. So we're in the final 90 seconds.
Final throws.
Zach, do you want to start?
Sure. My feeling is that ignorance can only be combated with education. A lot of people tend to get angry when there's a lot of ignorant statements. But I tend to look at it as this is a chance to open a door and start a conversation. So I don't get angry or defensive about ignorance. I'm just sort of like, here's what I think, and what I think is right, and you can take it or leave it, but if people are asking things from a genuine curiosity, I don't tend to get upset.
Yeah, it's like Zach said, like I'd rather you ask and know the answer than assume and be wrong. And I agree, it's all about education. That's why I dedicate my life to educating, whether it be through speaking publicly or online. I want to educate and bridge that gap and destigmatize in any way that I can. I think it can be exhausting. I'm an educator online, I'm an educator in person, some of my friends like, Molly, you need to separate work and life. And I'm like, there is no separation for me, because my work is educating, and in personal life, I can't get away from the questions. And if somebody asks me, I might be their only opportunity to find out the answer. So I'm gonna tell them, and that's my reality. But I'm happy to do that, because if it means it's gonna make somebody else's life easier, then I'm totally up to do that. And I feel privileged to have the chance to do that.
I always try to approach people with empathy. As someone who teaches high schoolers, compassion, I think, is the only way to approach individuals. It takes a lot of spoons, it takes a lot of energy, but I find that it's more effective than trying to approach people with a closed heart, even if it takes a lot of energy. But I think it's worth it to do it that way.
Yeah, I got to agree. I mean, listen, people in person, stranger things happen to me than in YouTube comments. I mean, I've been grabbed, I've been pulled, I've been pushed, people grab my cane. That's really the strange stuff that happens, in person. So, the questions on YouTube, it's, as I said, I'm cool with it, whatever. But, yeah, you know what? I'm with, I gotta pick up Zach here. I'd rather not have you assume, I'd rather just have you ask a question. You did good, that was great. I'm stealing that.
Cool. Well, we are out of time. I want to say thank you to all the panelists, and thank you to all of you for attending this panel. It was a really fun time with you.